Hi there, and as you can see by the title, we're going to have a quick conversation about what's happened with the CSGO updates, as well as some in-depth look at what the changes to the M4 really mean. First up, as you can see, we're on Dust 2, that's been removed from the active duty map pool. Were there other maps that probably could have gone? Yeah, I think there's certain maps that are kind of stale currently. Dust 2 was only played 8 times at the Rio Major, so I guess that is what Valve is using it as a basis for the removal. Equally, maps like Vertigo and Nuke can be quite just go to one site. I think I saw Thorin say something about this as well. Ancient, it's not quite there. It doesn't really have any super memorable games for me just yet. I'm not sure if that's an issue with the way that the map is laid out and how it plays, how the meta hasn't quite evolved there yet. I'm not too sure. We will see in time, I guess. But Anubis is coming in, and you'll see some snippets of it in this one. I won't be going in depth on the map Anubis. There's not enough that's been played on it yet. There's no pro matches that have been played on it yet either. I've played a couple of matchmaking games. It seems quite fun. The angles feel quite natural. They feel quite interesting. I think there's a lot of opportunity for smokes and flashes and nades. Equally, the AWP has had a nerf to it. It's gone down to 5 bullets. It's now similar to the AWP in Valorant. I think this is a great change. How many times do you have a teammate just spamming off his AWP through walls just because he can, giving away their position constantly? I think this is a good change. I think it's the right kind of nerf. It's better than just increasing the price, lowering the price, whatever you want to do with it. I think this is quite nice. We'll see what will happen going forward. It's going to make those AWP plays even more exciting. Equally, of course, is the N4 that's had a change. Now, it says in the patch notes that the effective range has gone from 0.99 to 0.94. It means it won't fall below over the entirety of the range. It's now more in line with the M4A4. That is still more expensive than this gun. As you can see, I'm at long here now, so with the M4A1-S after the update, 64 meters, that would be 6 bullets to the chest. This angle here, 71 meters again, it will be 6 bullets to the chest against an enemy with armor. The new minimal effective range for the M4A1-S now to get 4 bullet kill is roughly here, 12 meters away, equaling 500 units. That'll be a 4 bullet kill with your M4A1-S. So, going through each of the maps in the active map pool, I've found the longest angle for you to take with your M4 in hand. This one here, you'd have to push through A site. I played a couple of games of Anubis. It's not impossible to get to this position, but this one right here, up 52 meters away, that is equal to 2,028 units. This is right next to the top off where it will top over to 6 bullets, but at this distance, against an armored opponent, it's 5 bullets to kill, equal to the M4A4. The M4A4 will always take 5 bullets to kill, no matter the range. The longest angle I could think of on Vertigo would be just here with your M4, 44 meters, which equates to 1,700 units, so still 5 bullets, same to the M4. On Overpass, my first instinct was to come to long and see if I could take a long range fight here. This goes to 59 meters. Now 59 meters is still within the 5 bullet range. In theory, if you were to come all the way over into this corner here to take a fight, 61 meters is still within the 5 bullet range, same with the M4A4 across all ranges. My second instinct was to come to Heaven, and take a fight to short, 59 meters once again, closer to the 60, so that's interesting little fun fact, this is the same length as A long, is from Heaven to short with your M4. The last place which pushes it just over the edge, but it's a fringe case where you may have to take 6 bullets, but it's a bit iffy, is taking this fight here against the players down on the metal. You can get it to come up as 68. 68 is, however, through the vents. So, once again, fringe cases where you may take 6 bullets when firing down this specific angle, which doesn't happen very often. Over on Nuke, there's a couple of angles that came to mind. The first one was Heaven, sitting right back here as you can see, firing down to here. It's 58 meters, that's less than long on Overpass. Over here is the first instance which I could actually get 63 to show up as my magic number. If I stand here exactly and tap against the wall, 63 meters does come up exactly against this fence. But if you see when I add my character, you can already see that the units that would be required don't exist. 61, no longer at that magic threshold where it will take 6 bullets to get a kill. It's still 5, equal to the M4A4. Over on Ancient, surprisingly, there is one angle that pushes over 60. However, much like the others, it's incredibly fringe. potentially against a saving T. Over here into spawn, standing here you see 51, but here you can make it say 61, which again, still 5 bullets. 61, of course, not pushing us over the magic 2,500 units, which is required for it to take 6 bullets with your M4A1-S. Over on Inferno, I found the longest angle I could think of, which was down into spawn here, 54, 55. Now, that is obviously still within the 5 bullet range. Now, I have found, however, one location where you may take 6 bullets with your M4A1-S. It's right here. Window broken, looking down into T-spawn, perhaps when you play against those annoying camping Ts who just sit in spawn with AWPs or whatever, it will take 6 bullets to get a kill over this range with your M4A1-S against an armoured opponent, because it's over our magic threshold. Now again, relatively fringe, but if you're in those lower levels of Counter-Strike, down with the Silvers and the Master Guardians of the world, you're playing level 1 Face It with your mate who's just started playing the game, maybe you may run into some issues with an M4A1-S, and you may want to play an M4A4 here, because you will get 1 extra bullet of kill time. Over on Mirage, the longest angle I could find wasn't mid, it also wasn't short to B bench, it was from here, top, ticket, into mid, onto the short players. 57, still a 5 bullet kill, even down here, onto the bottom of the wall, yeah, it's the same, 5 bullet kill. So, what does this mean for the M4A1-S? Is it nerfed to shit? I don't think so. I think it's going to act more of a placebo effect. You're going to see a lot more players potentially switching back to the M4A4, going back, reminding themselves how beautiful that spray pattern is, how satisfying it is to get a spray down with that gun. I think it certainly balances the field to make it feel more viable to go for the A4. However, as you can see, very fringe cases where this is truly going to have an effect, and up to 500 units right in front of you, it's still going to kill quicker than the A4. The question is, are these updates good? Well, I think the AWP was needed. I think it balances that gun a lot better. I think you're going to see less spamming of the AWP, which will be great for CT sides. That means you're going to give away less information. We all have that one friend who sits there and just loves to spam the AWP constantly through every wall. Well, they're not going to be able to do that anymore, because they're going to need to be reloading constantly. Interesting enough as well, 5 bullets, it also means that when you get those 5 bullet mag aces, they're going to be so much more satisfying. I think overall, that's definitely a positive change. The M4A1-S, like I said, placebo at most. I think I'm going to continue with the same gun for the time being. However, I do love that M4 spray, so maybe I'll head back just for a little bit of fun, a little bit of nostalgia. Anubis in for Dust 2. I think it's a bigger topic, potentially one I may have to separate to the other side. I think it's good that we're making map changes. I'm not sure if Dust 2 is the one to go. I didn't like Dust 2. It was only played 8 times, that IEM Rio Major that just gone by. So obviously there was some tinkering that needed to happen to it. I think the unfortunate thing is there are certain maps that are just a little bit unbalanced, in the sense that they are very one-dimensional. Maps like Ancient, Vertigo, Nuke. I think I saw Thoron on Twitter saying that you basically only hit one bomb site, which is true to form. It feels like there was room for potentially bringing back another map. I'm still playing Train on Face It. I think that could have been interesting to come back into the fold, perhaps with a tweak. I mean, with Train, maybe just take like a couple trains out of that bomb site and just diversify the angles on it, and it'll be a little bit more interesting. I think an issue with the Anubis that might face is that middle map section is going to be so intricate in the way that you attack it or leave it open that there is opportunities that this may be very similar, where it's one-dimensional, just heading to one side of the map constantly, one bomb site constantly as well. That A bomb site seems very opening, very easy to attack. You've got open windows to go in. There's one chokehold in, which is complicated if you want to rush it, but it also means that you can just leave one guy just like hanging around with in a lurking position, listening for all the footsteps. Equally, when you play the CT side of that map, the A bomb site feels like it could just be one guy standing there with his nades, and treating it kind of like B site on Train, where you would just like run forward, listen for sound cues, drop the Molotov, drop back a little bit, drop your smoke, drop back a little bit, use your flashbangs to delay, and by the time you've done that, your teammates are already with you, unless they've smoked the molly. But again, you have so much like positional power that you can use there, that it might be just that it turns into we explore mid, we end B, we explore mid, we go A. The mid section as well is also a little bit confused. It'll be interesting to see how that is handled, because if you can truly fight for that mid section at the start of the game, then it cuts off the entirety of the left side of the map unless they do the long rotation through spawn. But it'll be very interesting to see, obviously, when the first couple professional matches happen, to see where the meta develops on that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the update for Counter-Strike here. I think it's quite interesting. Right after the major, it's nice that they waited till after the major for this to take effect. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. When you're down in the comments, obviously they always help me. They drive the algorithm that we all hope and pray to, we sacrifice our likes to, and if you could leave a couple of likes, that'd be great too. Hit the subscribe button at the same time. These things must be said, and thank you very much for watching.